The Quest platform has been around for a lot of years now, so that means that there has been a lot of games that have come out over the last few years on the Quest platform. We are now on the Quest 3 now, and we've been loving that headset. I've been loving that headset, but there has been a lot of games that have come out, and you know, it's time to reflect now and see what the 20 best games on the Oculus Quest platform have been over all of these years combined, because we've always done, top list of, the top 10 games that have come out in a specific year, but this is now our overall list of all of the games that have ever come out on the Oculus Quest platform, and what are those top 20 games on the Quest. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a brekkie is the gaming tech, is the gaming techie.
The first one here coming in at number 20 is Among Us VR. You guys know I love my social VR games, and this is probably the most social game you can get out there. A lot of us know this from playing it on our iPhone and stuff like that back in the day, and this is the experience in VR. The mini games are super well done, where you actually, get to turn levers and stuff like that, and kind of experience these mini games in VR. But, being in that meeting room with everyone in VR and trying to figure out, who the imposter is among your crew is always a ton of fun, and I hope that they keep expanding this game in VR to have more new maps, just like they do the 2D version, because what's here is a ton of fun, and you can tell that care was put into the VR version, and cool VR mechanics were implemented into the game. So, Among Us VR coming in at number 20. The next one here coming in at number 19 is Super Hot VR, and this is a game that's been around for a very long time, but there's still nothing like it in VR, where everything is frozen around you until you actually move even a little bit, and then things start acting out in the scene, where you have to take these enemies out, in slow motion and stuff like that, dodge bullets and use your weapons and stuff like that. Super Hot is a fantastic game in VR. It still holds up today, even though it was one of the original games that came out in VR, and it's super fun if you have not played this game yet. Super Hot VR coming in at number 19. The next one here coming in at number 18 is Red Matter 2. Or Red Matter, the series in general, if you want to lump them together. But this game really showcases, especially the second one, what the Quest and what standalone VR can do. This is a sci-fi adventure game where, you're going through the adventure. There's some puzzles involved and stuff like that. It's a really awesome game in and of its own right, but it really also shows the power of the Quest 2 and the Quest 3 especially, showing you how good a developer can make a game look. I mean, the visuals in this game and how sharp it looks on the Quest 3 is some of the best visuals you can see in standalone VR. It really rivals. It really makes you think you're playing a PC VR game. It just looks that good and that sharp in detail. And the gameplay in and of itself, the Red Matter 2, is amazing. It's like I said, it's a sci-fi adventure game where you're solving puzzles, going through the adventure, and going through the story and stuff like that. It's a really good game, and if you guys have not experienced this game, I definitely urge you guys to do so. Red Matter 2 coming in at number 18. The next one here coming in at number 17 is Contractors. Contractors is my go-to game for shooters. I love the gameplay and the quick gameplay of Contractors, because it kind of reminds me of Call of Duty and stuff like that, and those are kind of the games that I gravitate towards in shooters on the 2D flat screen, and Contractors is that for me in VR. Has a bunch of different game modes, a bunch of different variety in the matches that you're playing, and the modes. And let's not even get into the fact that people are making their own custom maps based on like Call of Duty and Halo and stuff like that, where people are making their own maps based on those properties. So there's infinite amount of replayability, and the gunplay is really tight. And like I said, it's a fast-paced, FPS game, and I love it. I play this all the time, and it's the perfect game for people who love fast-paced shooters, in my opinion. Contractors coming in at number 17. The next one here coming in at number 16 is Golf Plus. So Golf Plus is everything that you could want as a golf fan, especially if you're familiar with a game like Top Golf in real life, where this game actually has the regular golf experience, where they have a bunch of different locales from real life properties, which is awesome. Full 18-hole golf courses. They even have some mini golf in here as well. But they also have the Top Golf experience as well, and I really love that area, and I love the social hub, because you can have up to 80 of your friends in there doing the Top Golf experience, where you're hitting balls off the top of an area, trying to get them in certain spots for a different amount of points and stuff like that, depending on how far you hit them and how accurate you are. Again, there is nothing like this golf game, especially as a total package in VR. Has something for everyone in it, and I love the social hub area where you can hang out with your friends and play a bunch of different mini games and stuff like that. They did a great job with this game. They're still expanding this game today with new full golf courses, 18-hole courses that are based on real life properties, and I can't wait to see what they do next with this game. Golf Plus coming in at number 16. The next one here coming in at number 15 is Deo Battles. So Deo Battles is one of the newer games on the list. And obviously Deo came out before it, which is a cooperative RPG style tabletop board game. And this is the sequel to that of sorts. So this is now a PvP game. And instead of like the original, where the original took like over, like, you know, sometimes 2 hours to complete a campaign, even though you can save through it, this is a PvP game that only takes 10 to 15 minutes to play. So you get a lot more of that Deo feel in a much shorter amount of time frame. So you get to play more games and stuff like that. This is why this is my preferred game of the two, because I love being able to play, you know, this game. It's a tabletop game. You can play it in mixed reality or regular mode. You have a bunch of cards that you get to use, and you got to obviously take out your opponent and take out all their characters and stuff like that, and a variety of maps that they have on here. And it's just the core Deo gameplay in a much shorter 10 to 15 minute gameplay. And I love the PvP nature of this game. It works super, super well, and it reminds me of playing board games in tabletop form. It's fantastic. Deo Battles coming in at number 15. The next game here coming in at number 14 is Population 1. This is a game that's been around for a really long time. This is our battle royale game that you would want to play if you're into battle royales in VR. They have a lot going on. They're always updating this game with new maps, and now they added new modes that people can make and stuff like that. So it's kind of like our Fortnite for VR, where there's a lot of variety in the actual modes that people are playing and the maps and stuff like that. This is a fantastic battle royale game where you're playing threes and squatting up with your teammates and stuff like that. Really social game, really competitive game, and a ton of fun. And there's always something new to look forward to that they're doing in this game. So Population 1 coming in at number 14. The next one here coming in at number 13 is Pistol Whip. Pistol Whip has also been around for a really long time, and it is a fantastic rhythm game, but this involves shooting guns. So you're actually killing enemies on screen while going through a story. Sometimes they have different scenes and stuff like that. So many different modifiers are in the game now to tailor your style of gameplay just to you, which adds a ton of variety, and the scenes that you're playing through also adds a ton of variety in it. They have so much to do in this game, and like I said, it's a music rhythm game where you're shooting the enemies on screen with your pistols to the actual beat of the music. It's a really unique game when it first came out, that you're actually shooting a song to the actual rhythm of the beat. Really, really fun, really, really unique, and a ton of fun, to play this game. So Pistol Whip coming in at number 13. The next one here coming in at number 12 is me cheating as usual, which is adding the 4VR series in general. So that encompasses 4VR Bowl here, which is a fantastic arcade bowling game. And what I like about this franchise and what they do with the 4VR games is that each of the games has that unique balls where you get to unlock all these different balls that have all the unique effects and stuff like that if you want to, instead of using a regular bowling ball, which you could if you want, of course. But then it's also the environments that you play in, where they put you in different locales where you can play at a regular bowling alley, but you can also, for Christmas, play at a Santa sleigh and stuff like that, which is really cool. You can be in outer space and be on top of the moon playing these games. Then they also came out with Cornhole, and Cornhole is another fantastic game from them. It's exactly what you would expect out of the gameplay, using the same exact mechanics I just talked about, where you can have all these different cornhole boards and cornhole bags that you're throwing and you can unlock, which is kind of their formula, is giving you all these unlockable things of where you can play in different locales and stuff like that. I think they do a fantastic job with their sports games, or with their variety that they have on here. They also have a 4VR pool game, which is also fantastic to play, where you can actually play pool with your friends and 2v2 nature, and get that feeling of how you actually play pool on here. It's so much fun. Like I said, they have a lot of variety in the actual games that they play. They also came out with a not just this pool game that you're seeing here, but also the darts game as well. So they have a bunch of variety of games. So this encompasses all of their franchise in one category, because I love all of them equally for all of reasons that I just described. So the 4VR franchise coming in at number 12. The next one on this list coming in at number 11 is another new one on this list, and this is Racket Club. Yes, this only came out a couple weeks ago, but I was playing it for like a month before that because I was in the early beta testers, and man, do I love this game. This is a game I keep going back to every day since it came out. I love playing the community online and stuff like that. This is a combination of racquetball and tennis in one. It's their own version of sports games, and again, the resolution games, I love all of their games. They do such a fantastic job. And this one here, their social hub area where there's a bunch of different courts in the same area, but you can actually see everybody playing and see their actual movements one-to-one, talk to everybody and kind of chat and stuff like that as a full-on solo career as well. The physics are exactly perfect. There's never a time where I hit the ball and I don't think the physics were right. It has that addictive nature where you're always like, one more. You can play 1v1 on a court or 2v2 as well. Man, this game is so addicting, and I'll be playing this game for a long time to come. Racket Club coming in at number 11. The next one here coming in at number 10 is Iron Man VR, and I remember when this game first came out. First of all, I love Marvel games, and I'm super glad that we have a full Iron Man game in VR, and I can't wait to see if we get more Marvel games in the future, because I really hope that we do. But this Iron Man game really puts you into the shoes of feeling like you actually are Iron Man. That sequence of like the pieces coming and flying at you and getting your suit on and stuff like that is so memorable in VR. I still remember doing that. The story that's being told here and feeling like Iron Man and flying all over the place and shooting out of your hands and stuff like that is all here. It really does make you feel like a superhero, makes you feel like you're flying, and it's everything I could have wanted out of an Iron Man game, to be honest. It's a really fantastic game. Like I said, I really hope that Camouflage, the developers who made this game, and Marvel Studios team up again and now, give us another game in VR. We have Iron Man in VR, give us an Avenger game in VR, whatever we want to do, but this game is fantastic. Iron Man VR at number 10. The next one here coming in at number 9 is the Vader Immortal series, or the Star Wars series in general, because Galaxy's Edge can also be slotted in here as well. Just the Star Wars games in general in VR are fantastic. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. The Vader Immortal series, especially with the side mode there where you got to use the lightsaber and go through all these different challenges and stuff. And then you have the story game as well, where you're going through the Vader Immortal series, going through, and it's like a 5-hour adventure when you account all 3 in one now, and you're going through and listening to the story and meeting all the iconic characters from the Star Wars franchise and using your lightsaber, using your weapons and stuff like that, your blasters and stuff like that we're all familiar with, and being in those locales and stuff like that we're into in the Star Wars world. And Galaxy's Edge that came out after this one was also fantastic and really well done, where you got to see, explore Galaxy's Edge and listen to the side stories. I think the whole entire time that they've done Star Wars has been fantastic in VR, and if you're a Star Wars fan, it's definitely not one you can be missed. So the Vader Immortal series, or the Star Wars series in general, coming in at number 9. The next one here coming in at number 8 is Arizona Sunshine 2, another new one to this list that recently came out. Arizona Sunshine 2 is everything I could have wanted out of the sequel to the original Arizona Sunshine. You have more weapons, more zombies, better graphics, new story to go through. You can play cooperatively throughout the whole entire campaign with another person. And don't forget about Buddy here, your actual dog companion, which really adds to the actual story and the element where he actually helps you out and you can kind of interact with him and stuff like that. The game is fantastic. There's a lot of variety in the locales that you go through while you're going through the story and stuff like that. The story is fun and endearing to listen to, especially bringing Buddy along and stuff like that. Again, this is a game that I will be replaying all the time because I love killing zombies and stuff like that, but even more so is a fully cooperative game that you can play with your friends. It does also have a horde mode that they plan on adding on to, so you can play that as well. But the story mode is, in my opinion, what you're here for, and it was a fantastic time, and I'll be replaying this game for years to come. Arizona Sunshine 2 coming in at number 8. The next one here coming in at number 7 is Resident Evil 4. And I remember when we first got this game, we were like, I can't believe we're getting a Resident Evil game natively done in VR for the Oculus Quest. And Capcom really knocked it out of the park with this one, taking advantage of the Quest 2 hardware when this game first came out and doing everything they could to make the game, optimized for VR. And I think they did a fantastic job. This is the Resident Evil, game that we know and love from back in the day on the GameCube and stuff, and that horror game, and brought exactly into the Oculus Quest platform, and it was a fantastically well done horror game in VR, and I'm super glad we had this on the Quest platform, and now I'm able to play this game in VR. And you know, this is my preferred way to play the game. If I wanted to play this game on the GameCube and stuff like that, I'd rather play the game in VR. It's much more immersive, much more feel like you're part of the actual story, and it's super well done. So Resident Evil 4 coming in at number 7. The next one on this list coming in at number 6 is Walkabout Mini Golf, the game that keeps on giving. They keep coming out with new courses that keep blowing our minds every time, like the new course that they just came out with, Meow Wolf, which is fantastic. Definitely check that course out if you have not done so already. But this is a mini golf experience where you can play with up to 8 friends online, and they keep adding new courses. It seems like every month at this point, where the creativity keeps getting expanded on. We keep getting new creative courses and stuff like that. This is the pinnacle of what mini golf games should be like in VR. One of my favorite games that I keep going back to because it's just a really fun game done. And sometimes the courses are actually based on real life properties as well, so you get to experience some of those. And they just do a fantastic job. The creativity that pours out of each one of these holes just keeps getting better and better, and they always keep surprising us, even though there's like so many courses now. Walkabout Mini Golf coming in at number 6. The next one here coming in at number 5 is 11 Table Tennis, a game that I basically, every time I turn my Quest on, I'm like, all right, before I go play the game that I actually want to play, I'm going to go ahead and play one match of 11 Table Tennis because it is that addicting. I mean, I love VR ping pong. It made me get rid of my real life table because I could play against anybody online anytime I want. The community has been active for years on this game. The physics are perfectly on point in this game. If you're a fan of, table tennis and stuff like that, this is what's going to sell you in VR. It really feels like you're playing 99% of table tennis in real life just in VR, and you can play against anybody online anytime you want. Fantastic game. 11 Table Tennis coming in at number 5. The next game here coming in at number 4 does not need any introduction. It is, of course, Beat Saber, a game that I also keep going back to all the time every time they drop a new music pack, and I love the formula of this game, especially if you get into the modding scene on the PC, where not only do we get all the songs that we could ever want to play, but man, people make some crazy maps on there that make Beat Saber basically turn into a whole new game. It's kind of ridiculous, but even so, without the mods, I think Beat Saber is one of the best games on the platform. I love music rhythm games. I've been playing music rhythm games forever, between Rock Band and DDR and stuff like that, and this is that game for VR, and it's super addicting. You really feel like a badass swinging those lightsabers around. Beat Saber coming in at number 4. The next game here coming in at number 3 is Assassin's Creed Nexus VR. Man, when this game first came out, or when they first talked about it, I was like, there's no way this game is going to be that good. I mean, Ubisoft is doing it. I didn't think it was going to be, a full experience of Assassin's Creed. I didn't think that it was going to, come together, essentially. And man, was I proven wrong. Ubisoft really did a hell of a job on this game in VR. It really is the full Assassin's Creed experience on here. You even got, a semi-open world where each area has an open world for you to explore and do all these different side activities in the main missions, and you're going through all these different areas, and the combat is really fun to do. The graphics really blew me away when I got into there. There were so many NPCs, everywhere I looked there was NPCs, and I really felt like I was part of the Assassin's Creed world, and I still can't believe that a game like this exists on a Quest platform, because it really does feel like a PC VR experience sometimes with all those NPCs on screen and the environment that you're in. Again, they did a fantastic job. You get to play as 3 different, protagonists in this game, and I love the story in this game. I love being able to play as all of them, and again, they did a fantastic job. I can't wait to see what Ubisoft does next in VR, because this game kind of shows that they know exactly what they're doing. Assassin's Creed VR Nexus coming in at number 3. The next game here coming in at number 2 is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, the series, Chapter 1 or Chapter 2. We're going to be seeing here Chapter 2, but oh man, this game is so good. Even if you're not a Walking Dead fan, if you're just a fan of, zombie games and stuff like that, and an adventure game, this is definitely the game for you. The sequel really took everything up a notch from the original, and even though it takes place in the same locale as the original, everything has changed in here. They even have new areas that you can enter, and everything has been expanded, but even the areas that you've explored before have completely changed, and it's just a full VR game done in VR. There's so much to explore, so much to see and do, and it really makes you feel like you're part of the environment, doing all of the different missions that are in this game. A lot of good variety. The weapons are fun to use, and, killing the zombies are fun, using all these different weapons and melee weapons and guns that you have in the game, exploring the different locales and exploring the different missions. There's so much game in here, so much stuff to unlock and so much stuff to see and do. The sequel really expanded everything from the original. It's a fantastic VR game. Obviously, it's my second favorite game of everything on the Quest, and that is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution, coming in at number 2. The next one and the final one on this list has got to be number 1, Asgards Wrath 2. Yes, this just came out, but I already have a bunch of hours in this game, and it definitely deserves to be on this list. It is a full 60 to 100 hour RPG game. Can't believe it's actually better than the first one, even though the first one was on PC VR, and they brought this over to the Quest platform, and it looks as good as it does, and it's as grandiose as it is. I mean, everything you could want in an RPG game is here. And more some. I mean, it's Asgard's Wrath on a mobile VR headset. It is literally insane. You fight grandiose battles with big enemies and big boss battles. A lot to explore, fully open world after a couple of hours of getting into the game. So many side activities, so many side missions to do. The story is really interesting. A lot of, some puzzles to solve along the way. The story is really interesting, picking off on where the first one is, and it does a recap in the beginning, so you don't have to worry about, not knowing what is going on. Again, it's everything that you could want in a full VR game. This is what happens when you give a developer a full AAA budget to create a game like this in VR. And man, I can't wait to see what Zanzaro Games does next, because they knocked it out of the park with this one. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this list of my top 20 Oculus Quest games overall of every year that the Oculus has been out. It has been a fantastic bunch of years in VR, and I can't wait to see what comes next on the Quest platform. And as always, guys, if you guys have any questions, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.